Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Yua, and in today's video, I'm going to be trying a bunch of new e.l.f. products. So if you would like to see me try on a bunch of new e.l.f. products, then of course, please keep watching. If you aren't subscribed, do subscribe to my channel. I do post weekly beauty, fashion, and lifestyle videos. Other than that, let's go ahead and get this started. e.l.f. released a bunch of new cosmetic products, and I picked up all of my items off the Ulta website because I like to really purchase from like Ulta or Sephora because I get to build points, redeem points, and also it's just easier to return and exchange if I have to. But I love that e.l.f. releases so much items. I feel like e.l.f. is one of those really affordable drugstore brands that really keep their prices very low, but I feel like for the quality, it's pretty good. So I would highly recommend e.l.f. if you are just starting out or you're trying to build your collection. You know, I feel like e.l.f. is at the perfect price point, and they have some pretty good products as well. But anyways, let me just show you guys exactly everything that I did pick up from Ulta, and of course everything that I'm going to be using today that I did pick up, I'll go ahead and link it down in the description box in case you're curious and you want to check it out. So the first item that I picked up was this e.l.f. Hydrating Primer Serum. I really like these hydrating serums or serums in general because first of all, I have really dry skin, so I'm always on the lookout for something hydrating. And I love serums because serums are just supposed to be very concentrated. And so let's just go ahead and try this out. So this is in a frosted glass bottle. And it does look like there is some kind of pump. Let's just go ahead and open this up. So it looks like it's in like one of those, it looks like those medicine drop containers. So this is going to be kind of tricky. So I need to hold the button, scoop up some products, and I'm just gonna go ahead and place a few dots on my face. So that's too much. Let me just go ahead and share that. So I did just go ahead and allowed that primer serum kind of sink into my skin. I feel like it was not sticky. I do feel a little bit tackiness, but it's not sticky, and I feel like it really sunk in really quickly. So I feel like if you don't like that, there's some serums that you use and it literally just stays on your face and it feels like it's continuously there. I feel like this is not the case. It really sunk in really quickly. The next product I did also pick up from e.l.f. is this e.l.f. Luminous Putty Primer. If you didn't know, last year they came out with the original one, which I do also have a video on. So if you haven't seen that, I'll go ahead and link it up in the cards and down the description box. But what I really liked about the Poreless Putty Primer from last year, the original one, it really does give you that softening kind of effect where you don't see your pores at all. And I feel like it is a little bit hydrating, like, and for me, because I do have dry skin, so I do feel a difference. But it's not something that I like to use all over my face. I like to really just spot, really spot conceal or spot those pores areas, which is on my nose, forehead, and just a little bit on my cheeks. But this one's very interesting. This one is the Luminous Putty Primer, and I don't know if you guys will be able to pick it up in the camera, but there are really like some reflective parts inside the Putty Primer. So I mean, I don't know if that's what they mean by luminous. Like, I don't care for those like glittery shiny parts. Like, it looks like a highlighter and it has a tint of like, it's kind of like a beige color. See a lot of gold reflects. It looks like I'm literally digging my finger into a highlighter. So I'm just gonna go ahead and try this. I just don't know how luminous it's gonna be once I put on a foundation. Like, if you put a full coverage foundation on this, like, I don't see how that's gonna come through. So I did pick up a new e.l.f. foundation, and I don't have any, I think, current e.l.f. foundations in my collection. But I did pick up a new foundation, and this foundation was released, I think, last year in 2019. So many foundations were released in 2019, but I was not able to try this last year, so I did end up picking it up. And it is the Dose of Colors Hue Foundation, and I picked up the shade 116 Light Medium, and it's supposed to be, I believe, like a more soft matte finish, so I hope that works out because I do have dry skin. Ooh, okay. This is definitely not my shade. Way too golden. I'm very, very impressed. I feel like this foundation is really concentrated. I feel like I didn't have to continuously go back and forth to build it up. I feel like this is a really good full coverage in my opinion already. Like I wouldn't call it super full, but it's definitely a full in my perspective. But one thing that I do notice about this foundation that right off the back that I know for a fact I don't like is that I do notice that my pores are very visible. So this does not hide pores at all. Let me just go ahead and bring you guys in. Which is very strange because I typically never have that problem. So I'm going to go ahead and just try to see if I can just add a little bit more on just my nose, those pore areas, and see if it's able to kind of fill it up and cover it, because I never have pore problems. This is very new for me. Okay, so I think that this is a really nice foundation. I'm very impressed. I would definitely say it's definitely a soft matte finish. I don't think it's as new, like natural finish as what people say. Of course, that depends on your skin type. If you have an oily skin type and you put on something more mattifying, it's definitely going to bring that to be a little bit more normal skin, if you understand what I'm saying. And for me, I already have more normal to dry skin, so to add another layer of foundation to my skin, making it more dry, I feel like it's actually making it more dry. But I will say that this foundation, I can definitely see it working during the summer when it's a little bit hotter outside, so I don't mind it. It doesn't look horrible. I've worn foundations that I've tried in the past that right off the back, it's completely sucking up all the moisture on my skin. I feel like that's not the case here, but it can also be due to me using the e.l.f. primer serum in the beginning as well. The next e.l.f. product I did pick up was this e.l.f. Hydrating Camel Concealer. This is supposed to be a satin, more natural finish. So I do have the original e.l.f. Camel Concealer, which is more a very full matte coverage. I'll go ahead and link that video. I think it is also in the other video that I did try the original e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. It's in a pretty big bottle. I feel like these really remind me of like the ColourPop. I forgot what are their concealers, but their ColourPop one. So it has like a matte finish, a white top, comes in like a plastic clear bottle, and a really big doe foot applicator that looks like the Tarte Shape Tape. So let's just go ahead and try it. I'm just going to go ahead and use this e.l.f. sponge. I really recommend this. I bought this with a set of 2. I just feel like they're just so soft and so affordable. So I'm going to go ahead and blend out my concealer with this. It is damp. I feel like it definitely does feel and look luminous. Like it feels like you have a glow, but it's not shiny. Like I know because of all the studio lighting I have on, it's so reflective and it looks so glowy, even my foundation. But I feel like it looks very nice and natural. Like I feel like it definitely has that satin finish. It definitely is not full coverage in my opinion. It's full enough for me, but I definitely can tell that for people who are used to that very full coverage, like the Tarte Shape Tape, or even my, what is it, the Too Faced concealer, that one definitely is more full coverage than this e.l.f. one, but I really like it. I feel like it does a really good job. Right, so I just did my brows because I didn't have any products for that from e.l.f. But next thing that I did pick up were these really cute, tiny, what are they called? A bite-size eyeshadow, and I have the Carnival Candy, which this one comes with like a bluish one and some neutral tones. And then I did pick up this other bite-size eyeshadow called Berry Bad. This one has berry tones in it, and it's so cute and tiny, but you know what? I feel like it's not a bad size. I just think that it would have made more sense if it maybe had like 1 or 2 other shades, but I think they're so cute, and I think they were only like $3, so really affordable. So all over my eyelid, I'm going to go into this Match Cream shade right here, and I'm just going to put that all over my lid. And on, I'm going to go ahead and go into the brown shade right here, and I'm going to use that as my transition. Wow, this shade is really pigmented. So I'm going to continue going down the palette, and now I'm going to go ahead into this more burgundy-ish warm tone shade. Go ahead and build that up. Super pretty. So that shade worked out beautifully too. That one definitely took a little bit more to build up, but it's so beautiful, and I love that I was able to build up slowly. So I think it's definitely beginner friendly. And instead of going straight into the blue shade right here, I'm going to go into the Berry Bad Palette, and I'm actually going to go ahead and pick up some of these shimmer shades. Like, these are gorgeous. Like, look at that. Very, very beautiful berry shades. I feel like it's perfect. This one has a 2:2 ratio, 2 mattes to 2 shimmers. I'm gonna go pick up this shade right here. Definitely is more reflective when the light hits it. I think it'll make a good transition, well, a good lid shade. So I'm gonna just go ahead and use flat motor brush. Forming really well, even dry. And then of course I want to go back into that Carnival Candy palette and go into the shimmer blue right here, and I'm actually going to put that on my lower lash line just to have a pop of blue, because I think that would be really, really cute. So I'm going to go ahead and just put it on my lower lash line. So I think I'm pretty much done with both of these e.l.f. bite-size eyeshadow palettes. First of all, I think they're beautiful. I love the color selection. I know they have some more options to choose from, but I was only able to grab these two. I feel like for the quality and the price, they are such a steal. For $3 to get 4 shadows, they work perfectly. I think they're great beginner friendly. They're not overly pigmented, not overly too soft, but the gorgeous payoff is definitely worth it. I definitely recommend that if you're interested, definitely pick one up that's definitely in the color theme that you like. And I liked every single shadow. I feel like every single shadow worked perfectly, and I'm really glad I was able to get my hands on these two. So I think those were all of the e.l.f. products that I was able to get my hands on. I'm going to go ahead and finish off the rest of my eye makeup and face makeup, lips, and I'll be back to give you guys my final thoughts on each of the new e.l.f. products. I did also want to let you guys know that for blush today, I did use these, I believe they're, what are they called? The infused blushes. They're super affordable. This one right here is called Always Rosy, and then onto my right is Always Cheeky, and I love it. I think they're the primer-infused blushes, and I feel like they are super affordable, and I feel like they have such a great color payoff, and of course you get so much for what you pay for. So I did mix the 2 shades, and I feel like it looks very natural but very, very beautiful, and I highly recommend them. They are from e.l.f. as well. And I just want to give you guys like a recap of all the new e.l.f. products and the Dose of Colors foundation that I did try today. So I'm just going in the order that I did try it. So first of all, I did try the e.l.f. Hydrating Primer Serum. I feel like it feels really, really nice. I didn't even use my typical like moisturizer today. This was the only thing I used, and it feels really, really good on skin. Like I said in the try on portion, I feel like my skin absorbed it fairly quickly, and it feels pretty nice on the skin, and it looks really good. So far I do like it. Next, I did also try the e.l.f. Luminous Putty Primer. So I feel like because I did try the original, the Poreless Putty Primer, I feel like I prefer that one over this Luminous Putty Primer because it's supposed to be luminous, but I feel like there's just very fine like glitter, like sparkly particles in it. But once I put on foundation, I can't even see that anymore. So I feel like it doesn't really, for the luminous factor in it, that it's like that's what it's meant for, I don't feel like it's necessarily going to add any luminosity or make you look glowy, in my opinion. I feel like I would stick to the original, but I feel like they have the same texture and that they're both creamy. I think they do a good job in making you have that airbrush effect, but I don't feel like the luminous one really makes a big difference from the original one. So I think I would just stick to the original one in case you're curious on which one to choose from. I just feel like this luminous one doesn't really add, like I said, luminosity to my makeup. All right, and then I did also try the Dose of Colors foundation. This is a first impression of this foundation as well. And I have to say, I'm very, very impressed. It looks very, very good, even after wearing it for, I would say, a good 45 to an hour. I feel like it looks really, really good. I feel like it stayed in place. It has a very soft matte, very I would say, yeah, like a soft matte finish. I would say it's a pretty good full coverage foundation. I feel like it's super, super like high coverage, and I didn't have to use that much foundation. So I'm very impressed. And for someone who has dry skin, I think this works out very, very good. So I'm very, very impressed, and I really like it. So I'm really glad I did try it. Moving on, I did also try the new e.l.f. Hydrating Camel Concealer, and this is for a satin finish, and I'm also very impressed with this concealer. I feel like it's very hydrating. It definitely has more of a medium coverage, not as full as the original Camel concealer, which is more of a matte finish. So I feel like if you're looking for something hydrating, more of a medium coverage, I definitely and highly recommend this e.l.f. Hydrating Camel concealer. I think it works very well with my skin type, and that I do have drier skin type, so I really do like this. And then lastly, the last thing I tried from e.l.f. for these two bite-size eyeshadow palettes. The right is the Berry Bad one on my right, and on my left is the Carnival Candy, and I am super impressed as well. I feel like there were so many good products in today's e.l.f. Video, but I'm super impressed by these eyeshadow palettes. I think they're great selection. There's so many like palettes to choose from. I think they have 4 or 5. I was just only able to pick up these 2 that was available online all at Ulta when I picked it up, but they are very, very super like beginner friendly in that they're not super pigmented, they're not super soft, so then they don't just flake everywhere. So I feel like they are super good for the quality and the price that you pay for them. I believe they're around $3 for 4 eyeshadows, and I think they're such great quality, so easy to use, and I would recommend them if you're curious into. So that's it for my video today. Definitely give me a thumbs up if you want me to continuously do one branded try on portion videos. I definitely love these type of videos where I try on a bunch of new products from one brand. I feel like it definitely shines a lot of light on one brand. You know, I previously just did Milani. I'll go ahead and link that video as well in case you're curious. And now I did e.l.f. and I am just really curious, like, what other brands do you guys want me to try out? Definitely comment down in the comment section if there's any other brands. You know, other than just drugstore, I'm definitely open to high end, but I definitely feel like recently drugstore brands have just been killing it, releasing so much good new products. So I'm super impressed with all the products I tried today. Other than that, have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye guys.